Hello everyone, welcome to Durrett's Take. It's that time of the week where I go over my top 10 college football games of the week and my prediction for them. Last week, on paper, was not supposed to be that good, but ended up being a marvelous week, and that's the beauty of college football. Hopefully this week, there could be a lot of good games like it's projected to be. So let's get started with my top game of the week, with number 1 Texas versus 18 Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. 3:30 ABC game. Texas favored by 14.5. The Red River rivalry is a top 3 rivalry in college football, and it's personally my second favorite, in my opinion. They usually produce good games. However, in most years of this rivalry, not all but most, the better quarterback usually wins this game. And in this case, that is Quinn Ewers, who's projected to play now. Even if it was, Archie Manning would still be the better quarterback. But I think it'll be a competitive game like it was last year, but Texas will find a way to stay undefeated to get the job done. I have Texas winning in a lower score game, 26-16. Next, you got another big game with number 2 Ohio State, who 3-point favorites, versus number 3 Oregon, primetime game on NBC. The last top 5 matchup produced a thrilling result with Georgia-Bama a few weeks ago, so hopefully this game does the same thing. I know Oregon has played better since the slow starts of the season, but it's also because they haven't played anyone as good as of late. But to be fair, Ohio State has not been tested that much yet either. So assuming this is a close game in the fourth, who will make the clutch plays to win? A lot of people like Ohio State to get the win. Both quarterbacks are experienced and have plenty of clutch wins under their belt, so I'm curious to see who makes the clutch plays to win this game. And maybe whoever has the ball last in this game. For me, home field advantage, especially for like great teams, matter. So that's why I lean with the Ducks to get the upset. I have Oregon winning 28-27. Number 3, you got 9 Ole Miss, or 3.5-point favorites, versus 13 LSU, a primetime game on ABC. After good teams get embarrassed, they usually play better the next week, and that's what Ole Miss did with this past week as they won easily on the road against South Carolina. LSU, by the way, had to barely hang on against South Carolina. However, Ole Miss has another tough game here. Playing in Death Valley at night is hard to do, especially when the Tigers have at least a good enough squad. This game has high stakes. I think the winner of this game should make the playoffs, and the loser will probably just be right on the outside looking in. So I expect this to be a great offensive battle with 2 good quarterbacks. I think the home field advantage here will be the difference maker as in this game as the Tigers get the big win. I have them winning 30-27. Number 4, you got 4 Penn State, 4-point favorites, versus USC, 3:30 game on CBS. Odds are 2 conference losses means the Big Ten title game is already out of reach. So at this point, USC is playing to show they are still a top 25 caliber team instead of just a mediocre team like they were last season. The one thing I have noticed is USC is having to adjust to learning how to play Big Ten football. I know USC is coming off a surprising loss to Minnesota and they want to rebound at home, but I like this matchup for Penn State. They will play keep away with the Trojans offense, since they're good at running the ball, and Penn State's pass rush will get home against a mediocre offensive line for the Trojans. I think the game's competitive, but Penn State's quest for a Big Ten title game remains within reach here as I have them winning 27-20. Number 5, you got 18 Kansas State, 3.5-point favorites versus Colorado. Late night game, 10:15 game on ESPN. Colorado has been playing better, no doubt about that. However, Baylor and UCF, especially Baylor, but Baylor and UCF are not looking like great wins anymore. This would be a solid win. I think Colorado will do its thing on offense. The question is the Wildcats' offense. Will quarterback Avery Johnson play like he did at BYU a few weeks ago where the spotlight was too big for him? Or we have learned from that experience and play better? I don't think Johnson plays perfectly this game, but I do think he will grow up and play better than he did in his last road start. Therefore, I have the Wildcats find a way to sneak out a win and keep themselves alive in the Big 12 race. I have them winning 35-31. Number 6, we got 16 Utah, 3.5-point favorites versus Arizona. Again, late night game on Friday night on ESPN. And this game all comes down to one thing. Will quarterback Cam Rising play, or will it be true freshman Isaac Wilson again? If it's Cam Rising, then I think Utah wins, no questions asked. If it's Wilson again, then the Sun Devils have a chance. 2 weeks ago, they said Rising was clear to play, but he didn't throw with enough velocity to play. They assume that after the bye week, he should be good to go. We shall see. Right now, the beta line has gone down throughout the week, which probably indicates Rising may sit out once again. Arizona State's the type of team that would love to run the ball a lot and play ball control to shorten the game. I think that will help them be competitive. I will foolishly assume Rising will play this game, therefore I have the Utes getting the big win to keep themselves alive in the Big 12 title race. I have the winning 23-20. Let's go with 3 Big 12 games in a row because there's a lot of good games in the Big 12. With Arizona at BYU, number 14 BYU, or 4-point favorites. 4 p.m. game on Fox. Which Arizona team will show up? Is it the one that beats Utah on the road, or is it the one that gets blown out by Kansas State? Arizona's offense, for some reason, has been very inconsistent. Luckily, the defense has been keeping them in games, and I expect that to be the case once again. I believe they will take advantage of BYU's interior offensive line since they'll be playing with their backup center. I think Arizona will have a chance to win if they're mistake-free on offense, but if they're not, then the Cougars are the type of team that can take advantage of that, especially at home. Since BYU has forced a turnover in every single game this season so far, I assume they will get at least 1 or 2, which ends up being the difference in the game. I have BYU winning 26-22. Number 8, got 11, another Big 12 game, 11, Iowa State, who are 3-point favorites, at West Virginia, primetime game on Fox. Iowa State just continues to do their thing right now. They're the favorites to win the Big 12. However, they better be careful in this game. Playing in Morgantown, for starters, not easy. West Virginia has played a lot better the last few weeks since their collapse against Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. And they're undefeated in the Big 12 play despite 2 losses, since those 2 losses were non-conference play. So they're still very much in the Big 12 title race right now. This is a game where I think the Cyclones will play not to lose, and the Mountaineers will play aggressively to find a way to get the job done, whether West Virginia's starting quarterback Garrett Green is starting or not. So I have West Virginia barely winning 24-23. Number 9, you got Louisville, 7.5-point favorites versus Virginia, 3:30 game on the ACC Network. If you were to tell me Virginia is a top 5 team in the ACC right now, I wouldn't believe it, but look at the standings. That's what they are. They're a top 5 team right now. However, people like myself are still not sold on them. I know Louisville's coming with a 2-game losing streak, but they're still a very talented team, and if Virginia could beat them, then Virginia could be mentioned as a potential ACC contender. Virginia wants this to be a lower score game, while Louisville wants this to become a shootout. I think if Louisville's going to get their wish here and they figure things out and stop the bleeding, I have Louisville barely winning 31-27. Last but not least, let's end it off with the Big 12 game. Cincinnati versus UCF are 3-point favorites, 3:30 game on ESPN2. A lot of people thought UCF would be like a sneaky team to win the Big 12. It's bad enough to just get embarrassed at home by Colorado. Despite whether it's a good team or not, just get embarrassed by home in general is not good. But then to lose to a bad Florida team, I know it's in Gainesville, and I know Florida's the SEC, but to lose to a bad Florida team is another issue. Especially since the offense is supposed to be the strength of UCF, but the problem is if they can't run the ball like they want, then they can't do anything on offense. They have no passing game for some reason to speak of. Cincinnati is kind of the same way, where they rely heavily on the run, although 2 close losses to Pittsburgh, Texas are nothing to sneeze at, in my opinion. While Cincinnati coming off the bye, I think that will help them as the Bearcats go get the upset to show they won't be an easy out for Big 12 contenders. I have Cincinnati winning 34-28. So again, thank you for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel and tell me about me. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful weekend of a good college football.